going on, Budget fam? Welcome back to another video. Been a minute, but I got the discussion camera out. We're going to do a little bit of talking about NBA rookies from the 21-22 season. Like I said, it's been a minute since I posted. But this is the first time I've gone more than 2 days without posting in a while. Things have been crazy around here, man. This dad life is no joke, but I'm, getting settled in and trying to figure out how to carve some more time out to do what I enjoy doing, making some more videos. So I appreciate you guys hanging in there for me. Or hanging in there with me, and looking forward to just continuing to do what I do and do what I enjoy and dropping videos like this one here. So we're going to talk about some of the top rookies from this year's rookie class 2021-2022 and who I think are the best players to invest in. I'm going to do a top 10. Honestly, there's a lot of really good rookies in this class. I would say overall this rookie class is better than last year's rookie class. I think the top 2 guys last year, maybe top 3, might be a little better than this year, but it's still hard to say. But overall, this year's class is definitely much deeper. There's some really interesting players in here. Kind of had a hard time narrowing it down to 10, but I was able to knock it down to 10. Hopefully we'll start to see more products coming out from this year. It sucks that we've only got NBA hoops so far with players in their college or in their NBA jerseys. Obviously we have Chronicles draft picks, but this is college jerseys. So far just NBA hoops. We should be seeing Donruss basketball here pretty soon as well, and then eventually all the good stuff. But the season's almost over and we haven't seen much at all. But I'm gonna help get you right as far as who to know, who to look for, and who to collect, who to hold on to. So let's get started with my top 10. Starting off with number 10, I have Ayo Dosunmu, rookie from Chicago. He's averaging about 8 points per game, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Really explosive player, really good defensively. He's on a really good team. He's one of those players who's in a situation where he's on a team where he doesn't get a ton of playing time because there's a lot of really good players on that team. Alex Caruso has been out, so that's opened up a little bit of opportunity for him to get some playing time. But when he does play, he really impresses. Like I said, super athletic, really explosive. Guy with a really high ceiling, I think, and he's going to be an interesting player moving forward. Doesn't have crazy numbers so far this year, but again, just kind of a circumstantial type of situation where I think if he was in a different situation, you'd probably be looking at a guy who's averaging a lot more points and putting up more numbers. But definitely an interesting player to keep an eye on moving forward. At number 9, I have Chris Duarte. One of the top rookies kind of coming into the season. He started out really hot. It's cooled off a little bit now, averaging 13 points per game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He is an older player. I think he's 24 years old, which is not old, but he's got a little bit more experience on him, some time under the belt. So I think that helped kind of his start early in the season. Guys like that who are usually a little older, their ceilings aren't quite as high. We're kind of close to probably seeing the best from Chris Duarte. Obviously, he's got probably 3 or 4 more years to hit his peak, but his ceiling's not quite as high. It's just in my opinion, his ceiling's not quite as high as some of the other really young players who have a long way to go, but still a really good player. This dude is not shy at all. Will put up shots from anywhere on the court. He's going to get buckets. The Pacers are going to be rebuilding for a while, so they're not going to be super relevant anytime soon. But again, another really good player, interesting guy. Definitely someone to hold on to moving forward. At number 8, I got my guy Davion Mitchell, averaging 10 points per game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Not the most amazing numbers so far, but he did have a stretch where De'Aaron Fox was out. He was injured for about 8 games, and Davion put up about 20 points. I think over 20 points per game while De'Aaron Fox was out. So he looked really, really good. Kings have still kind of a log jam at the point guard position. Obviously, they got rid of Tyrese Halliburton. Davion is still behind De'Aaron Fox, who's back now and playing pretty well. He's incredible defensively. He's a really hard worker, a guy who you're going to get the best from at all times. He's another guy who's a little bit on the older side. I think he's 23, about to be 24, maybe 24 already. but a really, really, really good player, man. This guy has a lot of potential. We'll see how the situation shakes out in Sacramento, if he ends up staying as like a backup point guard for his entire career, or if he kind of shakes that and gets into a different role at some point. But I think the ceiling is really high for this guy. I like Davion Mitchell a lot. He's a fan favorite, definitely a guy to hold on to. I think he's going to have some value. He's a winner, man. He's going to have some value long term in the hobby. Really interesting player. Again, like I said, a lot of really interesting players in this draft. Let's move on to number 7. This guy is really exciting, and that's Jonathan Kuminga for the Golden State Warriors. He's averaging about 7 points per game, 2 rebounds, and 0.6 assists per game. Jonathan Kuminga is super young. I think he's still 19 years old. Maybe he's 20 now. Really, really young player. Still really raw, but has shown flashes of being great in Golden State. And that's saying a lot. They have a ton of talent there in Golden State. A lot of really good players that he's playing behind. He still has managed to get in to their system and, break in and get some playing time, and has really impressed when he's out there on the court. There just isn't a ton of playing time there for him. They're one of the top teams in the league. They got a ton of great players with a lot of experience ahead of him. So for that reason, he hasn't played as much, so his numbers are a little lower. He's a guy that for sure, if he was in a different situation, would probably be, I would say, man, he'd be easily top 5 rookie. He's that talented. He's got that much upside. He's such an interesting player. Really, really, really I'm excited to see him kind of develop, and what he's able to turn into could be really exciting. And I mean, I would say hold on to that guy for sure. Probably not a ton of value to his rookie cards right now, but long term, he's definitely a hold for sure. Moving on to number 6, I have Jalen Green, the number 2 pick in the draft for Houston, averaging 14 points, 3 rebounds per game, and 2 assists. Been a little bit up and down this year. Another guy who's just super raw, super young. He and Jonathan Kuminga didn't do college. They did the G League Ignite. I like Jalen Green. He's just, like I said, really raw. Got a lot of improvements to make as far as shot selection and defensively. But the upside for him is just crazy. He's so athletic, man. He's skilled. He can do everything on the court. Just kind of has to bring it all together, tighten it up, and that's going to take time and experience. So definitely someone to hold on to and watch. Early in the year, he probably would have been one of the top rookies to look for, and just hasn't had that great of a season. Houston has not been good. They haven't been on TV a lot, so people just aren't really watching them. But long term, I think he's going to be a really good player. He's definitely going to be an exciting player to watch, and he's going to have a lot of fans. So I think he's going to do well in the hobby. So definitely someone to hold on to for sure as well. At number 5, Franz Wagner, averaging almost 16 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Pretty much 3 assists per game. Guy who does a little bit of everything for Orlando. He's more of a big, as we know, big men just don't do as well in the hobby. But as far as his production on the court, he's been one of the most productive rookies in the league. Orlando's not very good this year, so we haven't seen much of him as far as on TV or anything like that. But he's been balling. He's doing his thing. He came in like league ready to play, ready to contribute. But like I said, just not a super exciting guy as far as the hobby is concerned. He's going to have people who like him, people who collect him, but he's just not going to be a high value guy. But a good player nonetheless, and I think he has a shot at Rookie of the Year as well too. I think all these top 5 guys have a legit shot at Rookie of the Year. So number 4, we have Josh Giddey for the Oklahoma City Thunder, averaging 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. Those numbers are crazy, man. This guy's doing a little bit of everything. Since Shai Gilgeous has been out, he's been balling. He's really taken over the leadership role of that team. Watched him play the Sacramento Kings, and he was a problem, man. He's everywhere on the court. I was trying to think of who to compare him to. I think he reminds me of like Ricky Rubio in a way, but a better version of Ricky Rubio. Like, the guy just does everything. He doesn't do it like one thing really well. He just does everything well. Not a great scorer, but a guy who can score. Not a great rebound, but he can rebound, and he's a really good distributor. So he's going to be interesting, man. I think he's the type of guy that you got to watch out for, because he's going to be able to pick up a pretty big fan base. If they can get some wins down there in Oklahoma City, he has that kind of personality and that kind of look where I think he's going to get a lot of fans, and he might have a lot of long-term value in the hobby. He's starting to gain popularity a little bit, and someone to watch out for sure. So watch out for those Josh Giddey rookie cards out there. At number 3, we have Scotty Barnes. 14 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. He's just a good player, man. He's a really good player. He's a winner. He's really helped Toronto kind of turn things around. They are on the rise right now in the Eastern Conference. He does a little bit of everything as well. He's a really good defender, super long, super lanky guy, really versatile, can shoot it now, which I was surprised by. He's shooting like 35 plus, maybe 40% from the 3. He's shooting really well from the 3-point line. So really effective, really good player. He's in that kind of range. I don't know, man. He has the opportunity to be similar to like a Giannis type of player. I just don't know that he has that killer instinct. I don't know if he has that dog in him, but his skill set, his length, everything that he does on the court is wild. He's an incredible player. He's an incredible athlete. He's going to be really, really interesting to watch kind of as he moves through his career and what type of player he becomes. Is he a dog? Is he a leader? Is he a star of a team? I don't know right now, but he has all the tools to be for sure. So keep an eye on Scotty Barnes. At number 2, I have Evan Mobley. All these guys probably could have been number 1. Maybe you guys have these guys as number 1 on your list. I have Evan Mobley. I think he's probably the best player right now. If I were to start a team right now, I would say Evan Mobley would be the number 1 guy. But if I'm looking at this from the perspective of a hobby, Evan Mobley being a big man, I just don't know about collecting big men. You know, as we know, like the value just isn't there as much for them as it is for guards. So that's why I have him at number 2, but he's been incredible. Almost 15 points per game, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, blocking shots like crazy. I think he's almost averaging 2 blocks a game. Been so good defensively for them. He's really helped turn that Cleveland team around that was terrible last year and is one of the top teams in the East this year. So that's incredible to see. He's been really, really good, and he has so much further to go. He has a ton of upside. He's going to be a great player in Cleveland. Like I said, he's a star, man. Just don't know. I have a hard time putting him at number 1 because we know, man, guards, small forwards, they run the hobby, and he's a big man, so I just don't think the value is going to be quite there as much as the number 1 guy. The number 1 guy right now is Cade Cunningham. Started out a little slow this year. Started out hurt, actually, at the beginning of the year. And he's really coming on strong since then. He got hurt again recently, kind of coming back from like a hip injury or something like that. But averaging 15 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, so flirting with that 25 and 5 range, and I don't think we've seen. I don't know. LaMelo might have done 25 and 5. But that's like a special number. If you can get 25 and 5, you're gonna be a really, really good player in the league. Except for if you're Tyreke Evans, but that's another story. Cade is a guy who I think has a ton of upside. I feel like he's in that Luka mold as a guy who can score. He's not super athletic, not super quick, but a guy who's just really effective, really efficient, does a little bit of everything. We're going to see those numbers come up as his career goes on, right? Like right now, he's at 15, 5, and 5. Next year, we're probably going to see 18, 7, and 6, and it's just going to keep creeping up, and he's going to put up really good numbers, and hopefully he can start winning some games there in Detroit because they need it. It's a good basketball city, and they deserve a good team. So he's my number 1 guy. I'm holding on to his rookie cards. Let me know in the comment section who you guys think are the top rookies to look out for this year in the 21-22 rookie class. Appreciate you guys watching. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.